send me a quick reply so everyone can hear me. Someone just down in the chat bar there, please. Can anyone hear me? Hello, hello. Ryan, you there? Roy, could you please send a message through? Just to know that. Hello, is anyone there? Could someone send a quick message through just to say that, yes, you can hear me and you can hear me fine. Hello, is anyone there? That's a good question. Toby's there. Just going to view the... Yes, all good. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Alright guys, we have 8 attendees today, which is a great turnout. First of all, I'd just like to welcome all to another one of Oricon's webcasts, Revit MEP Electrical Services. The target audience of this webcast being beginner to intermediate user levels. There we go. Presenting today's webcast will be myself, Michael Rogers. I'm a technical consultant at AEC Systems. Just wanted to remind you that these webcasts will be recorded for internal Oricon use. The link to this will be sent shortly after by Clinton or Roy. The agenda for today's webcast: how to create electrical systems, how to create circuits, wire view settings, circuit and distribution board numbering. We'll go over some panel schedules and some key points to note when working with cable trays and conduits. And finally, what is a distribution system? Okay, as per normal, I'll go through some of the slides first and then open up Revit and do some demonstrations after that. First up, system creation. There are a number of different types of electrical systems. These include data, communications, controls. I've got their data in there twice: fire alarms, nurse call, power, security, switch, telephone. Okay, so there are a number of electrical systems available for you. Okay, how to create a system? Okay, the easiest way to create a system is to first select on an item you want the system to belong to, such as a light or power device. In this slide, I've just selected on a light fixture. Okay, once selected, under your Modify tab, there will be a new ribbon called Create Systems. Select by clicking on the associated system and to create the system for that family. Okay, by selecting one of these. Okay, key points for systems. Okay, by default, Revit assigns every element or connector to a default system. Okay, may sound a little bit strange to hear, but that's what actually happens. Okay, it's called, and it's listed under unassigned system. Okay, so the process of creating systems should actually be reassigning elements to the correct system instead of creating from scratch. Little food for thought there. Okay, you can only create a system for families with connectors in there. Okay, so you may need to update some of your electrical families to have the proper connectors assigned to them. All right, circuiting. Once we've created our system, we can then edit the system and add additional elements to that system. To modify the system for electrical circuits for a family, select the family with the system we previously just created. Then select Circuits tab, or Electrical Circuits tab, System Tools ribbon, and select Edit Circuit. Here we have the option to select Add Circuit, Remove the Circuit, or Add a panel. So once you've finished adding all the appropriate other elements to that system, you have to make sure to just click Finish Editing Circuit. Okay, so the actual process of adding elements or creating systems is very, very easy. Okay, I'll just step through it in a couple of slides. So there shouldn't be any real issue with creating systems inside your electrical families, or inside your electrical models. Okay, next we're going to talk about wires. There are a few different types of wire styles accessible from the wire command. We have the arc, the spline, the chamfered wire. I'm assuming that everyone knows how to use this command. If not, don't hesitate to contact possibly Roy, and he can give you a full tutorial on how to create and use the wires. What we're going to be addressing in today's session is how to apply visual styles to our wires. Okay, out of the box default Revit, we'll have the wires will just be like a full solid line. Okay, as with other Revit system families, it's possible to change the type of the wire from the pull-down properties dialog. Users can edit. Little button just here. I didn't take it in the screenshot, but users can edit the type of these wires and change the name, and obviously duplicate them, and obviously change the respective engineering and design data in them. Okay, so some visual styles. Users can then apply filters to pick up those different wire types. One of the problems people are having with these is these arrowheads in your visibility graphics. You can make sure you turn home run ticks off to not display these little arrowheads. Okay. There are some more visibility settings located in your electrical settings, which we won't touch too much on in our demo today. But once again, all these settings should be already set up in your project templates, ready for you to go. How to number circuits and distribution boards. All right, after we've created our system and connected to your circuits, to your panels, to bring up this details here, you select your board and your property dialog. You can edit the name of the panel, and modify the circuiting prefixes and numbering different styles you have there. And we'll go through that a bit more in the demo. Panel schedules. Panel schedules are easy to use and populate as long as you have the connected circuits and systems already connected up properly. Okay, so to create a panel schedule, you select your board. Once it's selected, you'll have a modify electrical equipment tab come up, electrical ribbon, and then select the Create Panel Schedule button, and it's usually a good idea to choose the default template. Alright. It's possible to create your own custom templates. Please correct me if I'm wrong, stumbling, but I don't believe Oricon have a standard Oricon panel schedule template available in the Revit project template. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, so when the panel schedule has been opened, you'll have the ability to move each circuit up and down, assign different spaces and spares, and lock that particular circuit in that location. Obviously, you can edit the type and put your logo in there, as I previously mentioned. Okay. What these panel schedules are, they pick up all of the connected elements, connected circuits that are connected to that panel. Okay, so if you've got two lighting circuits connected there, there'll be two lighting ones down here, and if you have another power to that board, it'll just follow down below. Once created these circuits, once created, these panel schedules are located in your project browser and can be added to your drawing sheets like other reports as you wish. Distribution systems. You may have gotten this error message when connecting or when trying to connect a light fitting up to a distribution system or distribution board, so your panel board or local DV. I'm only going to touch briefly on distribution systems as the topic is very complex and detailed, and with the target audience being beginners to intermediate for the Zimcast also. Alright, so to fix this error message and be able to connect it up to the right board, users must first assign the board to a distribution system. This can be located in the options bar, and then use the pull bar. And then use the pull down to select an appropriate distribution system. Right. By default, all boards will be set to none. Once you change, you'll be able to add to that board. Okay. Alright, so where are the settings for distribution systems located? They will be located under electrical settings and then distribution systems. You'll need to make sure in your template to check the voltage first before adding new distribution systems. An electrical engineer should check over these settings and make sure they're correct and have the correct numbers and voltages listed before you proceed anywhere. Okay, what I'm going to do now, just a brief rundown on all the slides. I'm now going to jump into Revit, and we're going to do a little bitty demo. Just bear with me 1 second. Alright, so what we're going to do first is electrical systems creation. Okay, electrical systems creation. So firstly, our first step was to select a light fixture. I'm going to create a new one. Create similar, place it on face, hit space bar to rotate it around, just add a couple in there, like so. Alright, so select a light fixture, create a power circuit up the top. Alright, so that's a power system has been created. Alright, now we're going to edit that circuit. Edit the circuit, we're going to add to the circuit, select all the lights in that room or whatever the circuit may be. You can select the panel in here, but I always probably recommend to double check that you have it selected first. So finish editing the circuit. come over to your panel. I'm going to create a new panel just for the sake of this demonstration. Alright, so by default, our distribution system for our panel is set to none. We need to change that to 230 by 400Y. Okay. Now when we go back into our electrical circuits, so we can edit the circuit, and we can select the panel. You can either select it from the pull-down list, or you can actually select it by clicking it and finish editing the circuit. Alright, so now all these light fixtures are attached, are linked up to that panel. Yep. What we're going to do now is just go through some wire display settings. Okay, so under your Home tab, we have these wire. I'm going to show you the difference between a couple of the different types of wires. Alright, so that's an arc wire. Change the wire types. Skip a step there. Alright, so under Home, spline wire. Maybe spline wire like so, they can bend around. Okay. Then we also have our, under Home, we also have our chamfered wire. Okay, so we typically use our chamfered wire for our, I'm not sure of the Aec settings, obviously, but I would use your chamfered wire for doing like your power GPOs that come off the wall. Okay, and if you put your the spacings between them like so, you won't get the actual chamfered blocks there. Okay, so there's the different types of wire or wire types associated to it. If we wanted to rev it to do our connect all the wires up automatically, easiest way to do it is press tab, select it, and then select the little wire from the wire command there. Okay. Alright. I've already, as you've probably seen, I've already created a filter for these wire types. I'll show you how I did it right now. Alright, so under our wires, okay, you have you can select the different wire types. Okay, most consultants at the moment are only using two, so they're using like a hidden line and a center line or something for their circuit lines. Okay, I'm going to change this one here to be a hidden line wire type. So edit the type, brings up in type properties. At the moment, I'm going to rename that. Rename that to what was it, hidden? Try hidden. Okay, so that wire type is now hidden. Okay, we can change our electrical settings in here to what a typical switch wire would be like, and probably a good idea to get your electrical engineer to help you out on that also. Alright, so we've renamed one of the wire types there, apply, and OK. What we can then do now is go into our visibility graphic overrides, go to our filters. As I said before, I've already created a couple filters in here. So go to new edit, and I want to change the type name to say hidden. Okay. Alright, so that will pick up all the hidden lines, and I'll change the wire type to that. As you can see, this one's hidden line, and change the line type. Okay. If I change this wire type now to say circuit lines, it'll change it to center, because that was the pattern of the line type that I used in my filter. Okay, you can actually set up all these filters and save them as your view templates. So you just be able to flick through them and assign them very, very quickly. Alright, so we have our circuits. So it's all switched, all circuited. I'm just going to tab through that again. But one thing, you can also add wires just by selecting the elements. Yep. No, I didn't select properly. Cancel. Link that up. No, I did either. There you go. Change the wire type. I'm going to change that to hidden now. And change that to hidden. Obviously, you can probably do hidden 0.5, and I'll do it a little bit smaller. Okay. Right, and if we had a switch down here, we'd be able to connect that into the circuit also and switch it up. All right. So when we have, so we got a lighting box there, our circuit panel. All right. So if we go select our panel, add a panel name. I'm going to call this DB2. All right. Check it. So that's DB2, our panel name. If I go to our light fixture now, it can tell us that it's connected to DB2 and it's on circuit number 1. Okay. I'm going to go back into our panel now, and I'm going to circuit naming. Okay, so we can have the different types of circuit naming and modify it through here. Okay. Now when we go back to our light fixture, it has the circuit number is DB2 1. Okay, we want a dash between them, so we want to put a prefix or a suffix after it. Prefix separator, a dash, or a stroke. Okay, so we go back into our light fixture now, and that's our circuit name. Okay. Alright. So when we go back into our, I'm going to add this light fixture to these lighting fixtures, create another circuit, and add it to this board also, just so we can see there'll be 2 in the list then. So I want to select the panel, add to that one. Electrical circuits, I want to edit the circuit. Alright, they're all connected. Add all that to the same circuit. Finish. Let's cancel. Alright, so this will be circuit 2. If I select in from the list, DB2, DB2 tab /2. Right. If I create a panel schedule now, so create panel schedules, use default template. I'll come up here. Alright, so if we, I won't go into how you can change the different types and connections through here. But the board's kind of junior, beginner for webcast, but you can change, so you can move up and down. You can also add a spare in there. Okay. Alright, next on my list at the start was cable trays and conduits. Now I know someone had a question while I was on site that there was no fittings come in. So a conduit, there was no fittings come in for the cable trays. Okay, in this template there is some fittings come in. If you have to load them in, you have to go to Insert, Load Family, and find it from your family library, like so. Okay. All right. So when you're using cable trays and conduits, you have to remember that the offset fine detail. You have to remember that the offset level is that center point there. Okay, so it's where the connector point is. Same with the connector point on the conduit. It's the same as ductwork and pipework. It does everything from the center. All right. So if you want to get the bottom of the duct, you have to subtract it from the actual offset itself when threading it. You can also reference it back to this bottom elevation and top elevation, and that will actually be off the top and bottom of that cable tray. So we're just going to bring this down a little bit. Create similar, just want to draw on the end of it, and we're going to set the offset now back up to, say, 3 meters. Okay. I'm going to rotate section around 90 degrees just so we can see the different types of bends. All these different types of bends are located under the edit type. And you change the different types of edits of the different types of bends and transition pieces through here. Okay, so if you want a larger bend radius as default, you can then change it through there as a default. Okay, or you can obviously just select the bend through there and use the pull down list. All right. Next, we're going to just quickly have a look at where the distribution systems are located. So they're under your Home tab, Electrical Settings. You can bring up down here. Okay, so the distribution systems. That's where they are. So normally, typically we use 230 by 400 Y distribution system. You probably have a different name, but it'll probably be the same type of voltages. Okay, so that's your upper limit. That's your lower limit voltage. Okay, that's just based off the Australian and New Zealand standards. That's our power supply. Our voltages are here. Right, so our 230, what we call 230 volts, is actually a value of 230. Minimum is 220 and maximum is 240. Once again, this is straight out of the UK template. It's not out of. I'm not showing you your Oricon template, so these values will probably be different. Okay, so these voltages are referenced here. Okay, and that's all I'm really going to show you. To show you about the distribution systems. Okay, and here's your panel schedules. Okay. Also change how the different electrical data styles are displayed through these fixtures here. Okay. Alright, I'm going to click OK, and I'm going to open up to see if there's any questions from anyone in the audience. Just give it a couple of seconds. If someone can just type through a couple of questions. Bear with me 1 second, guys. Alright, I have a question here from hang on 1 second. Do you know how to draw cable trays at 90 degrees? This is from Judy, in the Brisbane office. So to draw cable trays at 90 degrees. It's got to do with your cable tray settings, okay, the actual families that are loaded in. Typically, Revit does everything off the design aspect, okay. But you can always cut a section and draw it up. That's a 90 degree. If you wanted to, you could change this radius. Say 10 if you really wanted to. Okay. You probably wouldn't, because the actual cable trays the cables wouldn't be able to turn on a 90-degree bend. Most cables can't turn on 90-degree bend anyway. So does that answer your question? Answer your questions, Judy? If not, send another one through. 90 degrees to run along a wall in fine view settings, it shows up odd. Okay, 90 degrees show to turn up a wall. I think I know what you mean. We go along here. Is this what you mean here? Fine view. Alright, someone else was going, can you show the cable tray height change again? Alright, so to create a new cable tray, same as all the duct and pipe, we hit the cable tray button. We have our offset here, okay, so that's how you change your height, and it's the height of the center point of the cable tray. We obviously change the width and change the height of the actual cable tray there, but this is our offset. And you can also set your default bin radius. So we went along like this and changed the offset down to say 2900. It'll put in a little bend there for us, and I'll just move that section up to have a look at a view. Through there. Okay, so what you can actually do is you can actually select the piece of cable tray, and you can change the offset like you can with duct and pipe work. So I want to change that to 3200, and since it's all connected, Revit will automatically move out these fittings as these constraints are set. Is there a way to hide the connected load or connected load calcs on the panel schedule? Alright, so this is a panel schedule question. If I just go into DB2, our panel schedules on our project browser, connected load calcs, connected load calcs. Let me just see, connected load calcs. I'm not sure what you mean by that down here. Connected load, connected load. So yeah, that has to do with your default template that you create and that you set up. Okay. How do I draw a cable tray parallel to the wall but rotating 90 degrees so the base of the tray is against the wall? Good question. Let's go and have a look. Okay. So typically I'm just going to change our cable tray to be a ladder view so we can actually see it more defined. Cable tray, let's change it to ladder. Okay. This is our ladder. Now we want this ladder to be against that wall there. I go up to the view, cable tray, 90 degrees. So that's up at 90 degrees. If I rotate that around, and move this in, and go to the view, you see that's around like that. Okay, what you can do is then create similar. When you do it, right. Quick fix, copy, rotate. There is probably another way to doing it. And if you want to send me an email, I'll be able to answer that question for you. Well, that's what I would do, just on a quick on the fly, just open it up, copy, rotate. Otherwise, you would have to reset the work plane, and that could get a little bit messy. All right. Is there any more questions from anyone? Anyone at all?
Michael, it's Guy.
Yes, Guy. How you on?
Just good, mate. Just check that that tray running along the wall. Make sure that the display is correct, because what you find is if it's a ladder's probably okay, but the channel tray often plays games. It means that the guys can't actually then utilise that tray to do the bends and stuff like that along the wall. So it's okay from what you've done from the point of view of a fix, a quick fix, but it doesn't sort of function the way you'd hope it would function within your workflows. Okay, guys. So just be aware of that. Also be aware too that when you're actually looking at the options bar and the cable trays you're running in a section view or a plan view, that width dimension actually applies to the width in the view you're currently in, not the width of the tray that you drew originally. So be aware of that too. Yeah, pretty sure that's right.
All right. Thanks for that. Is there any more other questions that we can go through? Any other questions at all? Guy, do you have anything else you want to add?
No, it's all good. No, it was fine. I'm sure that you'll address the demand factors and the load calculations within the next couple of webcasts we're going to do on a more advanced, intermediate advanced level, guys. So just be aware of that.
Yep. Yeah, this one was set for more beginner to intermediate levels. All right, Jesse's just got another quick question. How does that look in 3D? All right, so we're going to change this back to a cable ladder.
It looks awful.
Looks awful, does it?
Just kidding.
What section is this? This is just a section 1. Flip through the view. Rotate to view. Section. Rotate to view. Section 1. Alright, and I change that to find view. It'll look something like that. Okay. As a channel, not a ladder. Okay, we changed it to a channel. It looks like that. Just when your channel, yeah, okay. That's got to do with. I've got a question here. My channel looks skinny and tall U-shaped sometimes. That's got to do with how it's been drawn. Cable trays typically, unless you want to reset your work plane, typically want to have the base of the bottom of the cable tray towards the ground. Okay, so you probably need to either change your work plane, or we'll use the other method that I've just shown you there. All right, fantastic. Thank you very much for attending today's webcast. We've had a total of 9 attendees listed. Obviously, there'll probably be some in a room somewhere else. I'd just like to remind you that these webcasts are and will be recorded for internal Oricon use. The link to this webcast will be sent out shortly by Roy or Clinton. Thanks very much.